Do you ever feel chronically empty, disconnected, or alone? All three? Okay. How do you usually regulate intense emotions, if you have them? When receiving constructive criticism, what is your first emotional reaction? Do you generally trust your own judgment? When you feel misunderstood, what do you typically do? This is MMC. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be doing an assessment on personality. Everything in this video is for entertainment purposes only. This is role playing. If you are experiencing any mental health concerns, please contact a physician. Alright? Enjoy the video. How are we feeling today? Okay. Well, do you want any water before we begin? You're okay? Okay. So, my name is Dr. MMC. How are you doing? Good, good. Can you tell me your name and your date of birth, just to verify? Okay, good. I see you have a few concerns today about your mental health and your personality. Okay, interesting. Well, I will administer an assessment on your personality, okay? And to clarify, there are no right or wrong answers, okay? Okay. I'm going to gather some information, consider your history, and integrate multiple sources before reaching any conclusions. I'll be asking you a series of questions. Are you up for it? All right. After each question, I'll most likely be taking notes, okay? If everything sounds good, we can begin. I'll have you sign some forms, okay? Real quick, and then we'll get started. There you go. Do you need a pen? Okay. Now this is a good pen. All right. Okay, question number 1. How would you describe your sense of identity? Okay. Can I ask you, what do you worry about? Okay. Do your emotional states shift rapidly over the course of a day, or do you feel more stable over the course of a day? That's good. How comfortable are you spending time alone? And in those few hours, how do you feel generally? Okay. When conflict occurs, how do you usually respond? Hmm. Do you notice a tendency towards black and white thinking, sometimes called splitting, where people seem entirely good or entirely bad? Do you ever feel chronically empty, disconnected, or alone? All three? Okay. How do you usually regulate intense emotions, if you have them? When receiving constructive criticism, what is your first emotional reaction? Do you generally trust your own judgment? When you feel misunderstood, what do you typically do? Do your values remain relatively stable over time? How would you describe your impulse control during periods of high stress? And if you don't feel stressed, just let me know. Okay. Okay. Do you find yourself seeking reassurance repeatedly? How often? When someone apologizes sincerely, are you usually able to accept it? How aware are you of your emotional triggers. If you don't have any emotional triggers, that's fine. Okay. Okay. Here we go. When you experience disappointment, do you tend to personalize it or internalize it? How comfortable are you with setting boundaries? Mm. How do you define emotional safety in relationships? Okay. Okay. Do you recognize cognitive distortions such as catastrophizing things or blowing things out of proportion? How willing are you to consider alternative explanations for another person's behavior? Mm-hmm. Okay. What does emotional regulation mean to you? That's good. Okay, let me ask you, what personal strengths have helped you through emotionally difficult periods? If you could change one long-standing personality trait or pattern, what would it be? Okay, what role does mindfulness play in your life? As you reflect on today's questions, what is one hopeful belief you'd like to carry forward? That's very thoughtful. Okay. I'm glad that we were able to talk today. How do you feel? That's good. All right. So we're at the end of this assessment, okay? Thank you for your honesty. I appreciate that. As we conclude, I want to remind you that personality exists on a spectrum, and many people recognize occasionally patterns in themselves without meeting criteria, okay, for any mental health issues or diagnosis. And a diagnosis is never based on a single conversation, okay? So I will look into this for you. You don't have anything to worry about. Okay, I'm just going to do some comparison notes. All right. Okay, and I'm going to get back to you shortly. Okay. Be sure to check your emails. Okay. Thank you for coming in. I hope you feel better. It was nice meeting you. All right. Bye. See you in the next one.